everyone. I am Murtag and I'm going to be playing Dust and Elysian Tale. We're going to be playing any % warps here. This is going to be an incredibly fast-paced run. It's blisteringly fast as warps really takes this to the extreme. It's like warpless category takes about 45 minutes, but with just this trick alone, we'll be going about 17, 18 minutes. I'll be constantly explaining tricks the whole time. I want to explain a couple of things before I jump into this run. So what is warping? Basically, it's an oversight on the PC version of the game, where anytime I'm on a map screen, I can just drag the map to wherever I want to go, and then I can just immediately jump there. So I can enter a new chapter, go onto the map screen, and be like, boom, I'm going to go to the final room. So that's what I mean when I say warping. There's going to be many, many other tricks and movement stuff that I'm going to be doing throughout the run. Oh yeah, to clarify, Dust is like a 2D indie game that released in 2014. It's like a hack and slash Metroidvania, pretty much made by just one guy. He drew all of the artwork in the game. It's really amazing. Hey. Thank you, Link Boss. Now I'm basically eating the microphone, but I can do that. Is that okay? All right. So I'll let you know when time starts. Time starts does not start straight away. Okay, so we're going to play on casual difficulty. It gives us a bunch of advantages. For example, we can't die. Anytime we die, we just immediately resurrect. But the most important thing by far is the fact that we have infinite energy. So when you play this game normally, a lot of the movement, like rolling, consumes energy. But we're just going to have an infinite amount of that, so we can just constantly do movement tech, speeds up the run by a lot. And it's no fun to just constantly run out of energy. But there's a couple of other things as well, which I will touch on throughout the run. So the main thing to know about this game is that there is tons and tons of cancelling, kind of like fighting games, but it's incredibly free. There's almost everything in the entire game you can cancel at any point, anything else. So in this auto scroller here, I'll be able to show you some examples. So like I can slash and jump. I can slash jump. You know, I can and then go into like basically kind of combine anything that I want to do and kind of combine it all together, and we'll be using that to like be able to move really fast and abuse it to do movement tech and get loads of height and fly through the air and all the kind of stuff like that. In kind of the basic story of the game is we are Dust, we've got no memories, we wake up in the middle of the forest, we find a sword, the sword has a guardian as well, which is the orange bat, Fidget, and we're just going to go find out what the hell's going on. So time starts when I skip this cutscene, so are you ready on time? Okay, let's go in 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, straight away we're going to be doing some movement tech. This is called rocket jumping. By doing a specific combo and then jump slashing out of it, it goes a little bit faster than walking. We're going to be doing that movement tech for about another 30 seconds before it gets replaced with a faster movement tech, which will be rolling. But until then, we're going to do a couple of rocket jumps through this starting area. And through these destructible walls. These ones we can destroy because they aren't yellow. Yellow ones require bombs that you'll see later. We're skipping a lot of cutscenes throughout this run. Right, we just got rolling. We can roll, but I don't have time to explain because we've got the first skip of the game coming up. Okay, so we jumped over a trigger. Cool. And so now we can roll, but I just want to quickly explain something. So spamming roll looks like this. That's really, really slow. We don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll, crouch slash, which cancels the end leg, but then immediately roll. But you can't even see the crouch slash because I'm going to cancel the crouch slash immediately. So it's like roll, crouch slash, roll, and then speed that up. And that is called ground dodge cancelling, or GDCs, but I'm just going to call it rolling throughout the rest of the run. And we're going to be doing that and movement tech like throughout the entire run. We can cancel into rolls, but we don't have to. We cancel into jumps, just like that, and cancel that, into other stuff. And that's kind of how the movement works in this game. So, trick coming up. Oh, this enemy. Ah, the enemies are trolling me right now. Right. Ah, okay, didn't get it. So this cutscene is the only unskippable cutscene in the entire game. It kind of explains Dust Storming. I don't know why it isn't skippable. It just isn't. But you can, if you frame perfectly, click out of the game on the frame that you pick up that power off. So it's one frame at 60 FPS. You can like buffer up to it, but it's kind of like it's quite a tricky strat. So it's really high reset point at this point. But it's all good. It lets me kind of explain it. You don't really have time to explain it if I actually get it. So we've just got Dust Storm, which is the grounded version, where we spin our sword around. We're not going to use it much, but we'll use it to pull bombs every now and again, because that's how you pull bombs. So just going to keep moving through. So one thing we'll be wanting to do in this intro area is never get hit, ideally, and also pick up some keys, because we need money. And there's a problem with being hit, which is, because we're on casual difficulty, we automatically use our healing items when we get hit, but we need to sell all of them to have enough money.
When you have 5 seconds, could I just come in with some donations?
Yeah, there's just a little minor trick here, and then I will I'll give you over. So this is called, the thing I'm about to show you is called zigzagging. Looks like this. It's a ridiculously fast way of attacking the game. What I'm doing is I'm holding down a certain combination of keys on my keyboard, spamming the controller, and it basically makes you attack left and right really, really fast. Yeah, read a donation.
Alright, so just to do a few here. Zed and Rimba, $20. Good luck, Murtag. And then from Murtag's mum, $15. Good luck, Murtag, from your mum.
Shout to mum.
C. Ross, $6. Here's $6 I'd otherwise spent on Iron Brew. Loving my first marathon. Cool. And then lastly, Ulvid from the last run, $72. 36 times 2 makes $72 to charity. Having had a blast playing it, even though RNG was not on his side, I think I played decently. Money goes to the following: Pokemon Shield, named Growler Fireport, and a lot of people in this room know why. I also picked 818 as the trainer number in reference to the best Pokemon ever, Inteleon. For Blue Rescue Team, I put my money towards naming, I butcher this, Kamakinis, and naming the team ESA. Cool, thank you. Sorry about that.
Alright, so we've finished Rest of the Glade that whole time. We've got some movement tech, aerial dodge cancelling, which is the same as ground dodge cancelling, but now we're doing aerial dust storms in the air in between. And also we got rising dust storm, which is this. By doing a specific combo in the air, we can repeat it over and over and just get infinite height. We're jumping over a boss trigger here, so we skip the boss at the end of Chapter 0. Chain that into some ADCs, which are these cartwheeling in the air. And there we go. And that's the end of Chapter 0. So we actually managed to get enough money. Money is ridiculously tight at the start of this run, which makes this the areas very reset heavy, but we actually did it. So we don't need to do a backup strat. This is what's called a panorama cutscene. They're unskippable cutscenes. But we are going to skip all of the rest of the ones in the run by using tricks. So as you can see, they're kind of long. They're almost 15 seconds long. So we just need to hit some story triggers here. Going to be ground dodge cancelling all the way through, skipping the cutscene as soon as I can, skipping the backup. We actually, so even though we played like perfectly, we have 1 gold more than we need to. Whenever we go down a slope, it's slightly faster to aerial dodge cancel, so that's what we're going to do. And this is the shopping trip that we need to do. We need to buy some teleport stones. Don't sell all the keys. And frame perfect trick, first try. So we just bought an item for the cost of a different item by switching the item that we're looking at on the frame. So now, 3 more tricks coming up in rapid succession. So we're going to talk to this guy as we leave the cutscene. That makes us in a conversation, and other cutscenes can't happen while you're in a conversation, which will block the panorama cutscene here. And then we're going to leave a map while saving, which creates a glitch save. Worry about that later. And then we're going to do the first warp of the game. So we're going to warp far into this area that we just entered, go out of bounds. And then we're in a place that is totally optional. And the thing is, you're not supposed to be able to go up here. But by rising dust storming against the wall very quickly, we can climb up here very, very, very fast. And get to a chest that we shouldn't be able to get to. Because we should need Vine Grip, which is like from way later in the game. It's because this is a Metroidvania game. So this is going to be a really OP item for what we have in the game. It's called the Flesh Sheath. So this trick is called Early Flesh Sheath. And we just went from 4 attack to 154. So that'll carry us for most of the rest of the run. So that's why we took a detour to get this item, because it'll help out loads in the boss fights. Now we're just going to TP out to the end of the chapter by going right over here. And then we're going to kill this enemy. Why do we kill that enemy? Because we're entering a brand new area. That means we're going to have a panorama cutscene. But when you get level up, you get knocked back. So we're going to get knocked back at the start of this cutscene. Boom, there it is. Leave the area, which skips that cutscene. Alright, so the warping really starts from now. We just bought 9 TP stones. That was what we spent all our money on. What that let us do is go from any save point to the map, which is obviously very, very useful when we can go from anywhere from a map screen. So we are going to be basically trying to get to save points as fast as possible. So that's what we're doing. So we're just running to a save point. So this is what we're doing. There's a save point right over here. And then we're going to go over here. But warping is a bit more, even more complicated. We can't just go to any, not only can we go to any room in the game, that we want to, like I just did, we can also go to anywhere in that room that we want to go to by setting up something called exit warping. So by leaving a room in a particular way, we can set up where we enter the room after we warp. So we warp over here, and then boom, where we are, right next to the slide power-up, which we need to finish the run. So we can slide like this, and we can also do a new movement tech called slide boosting. By sliding right at the edge and then immediately going to attacks, we kind of conserve a bit of momentum. So we can speed up our movement a little bit in some situations. And then we go straight to the save point, so we can warp out using a TP stone, and then set up another exit warp right over here, and then we're going to go fight the boss of the chapter because we're good to go now, which is right here. So this boss is going to go really fast, so we're going to do a bit of an AI manipulation that gets the boss stuck, and then we're going to do the zigzag tech I mentioned before to do very high damage very quickly. We need to stop around 20 attacks. Otherwise, if you attack 21 times really quickly, the boss is just programmed to just escape immediately. So we have to do a brief pause halfway through, and then we absolutely brutalize the boss. And they're now like, oh yeah, we're friends now, because you beat me. So we just want to get out of this chapter now and go into chapter 3. But firstly, there's going to be another panorama skip that we need to do. So by leaving a room while entering it, by buffering moving left as we enter, we immediately leave the room, which skips the cutscene. Go up the bomb wall. Go down here, and these are the end cutscenes for Chapter 2, which are required. So this is like the biggest downtime part of the game. So you've got about 30 seconds of just cutscenes where I'll skip the cutscene as soon as I can, which is usually when dialogue is about to start. So if you've got any donations or anything, now is the time, because there won't really be any time, really, throughout the most of the rest of the run, because it's pretty goddamn intense. We good? It's fine, I can keep talking as well.
Okay.
So
well, no, hey, I can talk. We haven't got any more donations going, but we have got a general blurb that I can read. Whoa. Thank you for watching the United Kingdom Speedrunners Gathering, a 2-day speedrunning marathon held 4 times a year, and we're coming to you live from Glasgow, Scotland. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alright, okay, we're going to be moving on to Chapter 3 now, which is always the most intense chapter in any Dust speedrun. So first we're going to do a boost here. Anytime we attack towards enemies, they boost us up. Like that. So we can use that, especially with the aerial dust storm move, where I spin the sword in the air, and that just makes me fly into the air, which helps anytime you want to go high up. So now we're going to be entering Chapter 3, the most intense chapter in the game, because we can't just warp to the end. We need to beat the boss the only way to progress through a barrier. In order to spawn the boss, we need to get 4 items from 4 mansions. So we're going to be warping into 4 mansions in turn, picking up the item, getting the hell out, and repeat. So, Mansion 1. This is also like the spooky, scary chapter as well. So that's item 1, and we also get the vine grip power up. So we actually legitimately have it now, so we can climb up the vines a little bit faster than using Rising Dust Storm or other techniques. And now we just want to get out of this mansion as fast as possible, using some slide warps, and there's some really kind of intricate movement tech here. Ooh, like that is really easy to mess up. So I kind of have a running joke that all your time loss is always in sorrowing, which is this chapter, as it's all movement, and you can lose so much time because it's just really quite long and really quite technical. All right, warping into the next mansion. Here we go. And picking up that item, and then we're going to go back out, do a nice little boost here into ADCs, and get out of here. Buffering roll here lines everything up perfectly, so I can just jump down. Some nice little movement here. We'll do some slashes. Down slash, which just destroys that wall really fast. Rising dust storming against the wall, and a slide boost. Right, got a bit caught on that pillar. Not necessary for me to pick up that key, but it's all good. It's got an interesting warp here called a jump warp, where I'm going to jump while saving. Sorry, I'm going to be in the air while I warp, which manipulates the position I end up in, which just makes this warp a little bit faster. So I'm out of bounds, but then I come up through the floor. And there we go, so picking up the 3rd item now. So we're most of the way through the mansions now. Go through here. Boost up towards the ceiling, use some zombies here to boost off. If we're lucky here, we can use a bomb to destroy a wall, but it's pretty RNG whether the game lets you do it. Oh, it let me do it. Cool. That's like a 1 second time save. Let's go. And moving out to exiting this third mansion. Need to RDS over a big guy with a shield here. And then there's a very rare boost. See if I get it. Nah. It's like 1 in 10 probably. I'm going towards the last mansion, which is a little bit strange because there's actually a door in front of it, and we need to actually open the door. Otherwise, we'd soft lock as we get stuck inside. Ooh. Okay, so pull this bomb, position it just right. That looks perfect. And there we go. So these walls need to be destroyed to get in, and so we just destroyed them so we can get back out and warp inside. There's a convenient little save point here that we can use to get inside. And that picks up the 4th item, which triggers a cutscene, as that is the last one. So we just want to get out and get towards the boss fight now. There's a pretty RNG strat here where I might get through this barrier. Nah. By doing movement perfectly, we have about a 50% chance to get through, but it just depends on the enemies. They didn't fancy being nice this time, but it's alright. Kill those enemies pretty quickly. And nice little slide boost. Get up here. And then this is where we'll go back to where we were. So we would have just been stuck there and wouldn't be able to leave if we didn't destroy the door first. So we just boost off that nest. And we TP back out. So now we can fight the boss, now that we've got all the items. This is a pretty tough boss fight. It's definitely the hardest boss fight in the run. I'm going to be doing zigzagging that I mentioned before, but I'm also going to be using iframes from pausing. So in this game, when you unpause and then don't press anything, you get iframes for about 1-2 seconds, and we can use that to dodge all of his attacks. Okay, slightly messed up because I slightly moved by mistake as I got hit, and then the zombies killed me. So once you get hit, he spawns enemies and this fight becomes way worse. So we're going to change the difficulty to normal. So changing it to normal, one of the problems with casual is it automatically assigns all of our skill points, but we want all of our skill points in strength to do loads of damage. And we're about to level like 5 times. So by changing the difficulty, it means that we can actually place them where we want. But we're not going to do that quite yet, because we're just going to go finish this chapter first. So this was the barrier that we need to beat Cain to go through, and that ends chapter 3. So now we're into chapter 4. So, you're probably wondering throughout the run, well, if you can just warp to the end, you're like, why do you even do anything? Just like, immediately enter the map, and then immediately warp to the end. Well, do you know what? That is a good idea. That is a good idea. So let's do exactly that, because in this chapter, there's nothing we need. So, we're just going to go whoop, through Blackmore Mountains, and we're at the end of chapter 4. So this is kind of a story sequence where, as I mentioned at the start, we kind of don't know who we were. We lost all our memories. And this is where we find out the truth. But of course, we are going to be skipping all of these cutscenes here as soon as the game lets me. And then after that, we'll be moving on to the very final section of the run. So casually, the last chapter is very long. It's very long in the warp plus category as well. But of course, we have warping, so we don't need to do pretty much any of it. But first, we need to set up another strat. So if you remember the conversation storage from before, we're going to do that again for the panorama in chapter 5. So I'm going to use a little Gihan over here and push him to the edge and then talk to him. Talking to him also gives us XP, because he's an NPC that we never talked to before. So we can go up here. And if this works, we shouldn't get the panorama cutscene, and we should level up, and then we're going to spend our points. Boom, there it is. And then put it all in attack. That increases our attack by quite a lot. So we're going to set up one final exit warp. So by coming to this map, boosting off those enemies, exiting at the very top, that puts us just in the perfect state to go right here. And not only are we in the final boss fight of the game, but we're also in the final phase of the final boss fight. This boss actually has 4 phases casually. It's really, really long. But luckily, in both warps and warp plus, we have a way to skip to this phase. An unfortunate side effect of the glitch is we have the map music during the final boss, but you know, it just makes this nice and chill. It's nice, you know, calming. You know, when you're on world record pace, that's what you need. So this boss is pretty RNG. What we want to do is just lock him like this. Looks dead easy until he parries. Parrying is totally random. You can do it as many as little times as you want. I've never had a fight where he didn't parry. We're on pretty good pace for no parry. If we get it, that'd be pretty damn hype. After he parries, he can kind of do like any attack, and his attacks are actually incredibly dangerous. So we really don't ever want to let him do an attack. But oh my god, are we going to get a no parry? Are we going to get a no parry? Oh my god, that's a no parry, guys. I've literally never seen that before. That's so good. It's the best RNG you can possibly get. So we're at the very final sequence now. We beat the final boss. What we would do is we just crawl to the end of the game. Warp plus, that's what you have to do. But if you were paying very close attention, about 12 minutes ago I said we made a glitched save. So we're going to do that, which has some weird properties. So as soon as the game lets us, we're going to load that glitched save. That puts us at the bottom of the map. Not very helpful. But if we load it again, puts us in the air where we were, which is 2 RDSs, ADCs, and time. There you go. And now is Dust and Elysian Tail warps. 80%. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you kind of at least vaguely followed what I was doing. It's a really, really intense run, but that's kind of what I really like about this run. I think this is my favorite speed game and favorite category. There's very little RNG throughout the whole run, and it's pretty much all movement. It's like how well you can embrace the engine and just nail everything. It's just so satisfying. So I just keep going back to it for that reason. If you want to play it, it's available on Steam. It's also on like Xbox Live as well. Really, really fun game casually, and a fantastic speedrun. The speedrunning community for this game is it's quite small, but really, really close knit. They're absolutely lovely people. So massive shout out to all of them. I'm not going to list people because I'll forget someone, but you guys you're amazing. So I think that's it for me. So UKSG is freaking amazing. Thank you for letting me run in this run. Next we have Pokemon Shield, which is going to be amazing. So stick around for that. But I think I'm done. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.